Who wants to learn how to make more money and how to make that money work for you? Stay tuned because that's what I'm going to go over in this video. I get asked a lot by my clients what the benefits and cons, like pros and cons, are about breaking things down into a payment plan and having clients pay in full. Before I go into the numbers, which you can see here, I'm gonna number it up. We're gonna do some math today and really look at that. But before I go into that, there's some important things that we need to keep in mind when we're deciding if we're going to do payment plans or pay in full. Pros and cons to both. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about those before we look at the numbers. Pro for offering payment plans. This makes things more accessible to people, right? It makes it so that they can hop inside. It allows us to create income, and it also can create more of a sustainable income. If we know someone's on a payment plan, then they're going to be making a certain payment every month, and that is a consistent, reliable income that we're going to receive each and every month. So, example, what we're going to talk about is if we are launching an offer it's a 6-month container, it's $5K for someone to come in. I wanted to do simple math for myself. If we have 15 people come in, those 15 people choose to do the payment plan, they're going to be paying $833 a month. So we know that that's what's going to be coming in from those people. So that's nice, right? Us as women, we like to have stability. We like to have security. We like to know what our numbers are going to look like. This is how we know, okay, I can project this amount so I can afford to buy this new car. I can put this down payment on my new home, etc. Right? Because we have some predictability in our business. This is where a lot of people are struggling in their entrepreneurial journey, and especially in their spiritual intuitive businesses, because they have no consistency in income. So this is a way that we generate that, is we launch something. This is why people do launches, right? There's so many different ways to create sustainable income now, but we're going to talk about it in this way. So we're looking at a launch. This is what we're doing. We're launching this program, the 6-month program, and it's a 5K offer. Okay. So the benefit of having the payment plans is that we're going to be able to have a regular sustainable income that we know that we can count on for at least those 6 months, right? So that's definitely a pro. Con side of this is people not paying, right? They hop inside and their payments aren't going through, or they drop off. And because they drop off, they're now thinking, well, I'm not participating in this, so I don't need to pay for it anymore. So that reliability and stability is a little bit shaky, because we can look at it and project, okay, I'm going to make this much. But the reality is we may not, because someone may drop off and they choose not to pay. They can cancel their card. They can say that they had fraud on their card, so it gets canceled. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of different things that can happen in that space. So something to keep in mind when we look at those pros and cons. So let's go ahead and look more into the payment plan option. Okay. So I'm going to go over here to my document. What I did here is I broke the numbers down. So like I said, we have a 5K offer. We're making it pretty simple. It's a 5K offer that's 6 months. If those 15 people that hop in to this program from the launch, those 15 people are going to be paying $833 a month. You can do payment plans that extend past the time length of the program. That is not something that I recommend. It's one thing to create a payment plan to make things more accessible, but we want to try to keep that within the time frame that they're going to be in the container, because that way, if they do drop off or if they do not pay, then we can restrict access to what they're getting. Versus if we did a 12-month plan, but it's only a 6-month container, after those 6 months, unfortunately, this is a common thing that happens in the coaching industry. After those 6 months, even if someone has another 6 months on their payment plan, they don't always honor that. So at least we have some level of filtering that we can do in this container if we're saying, okay, like, but it needs to be paid within the time frame that the container is lasting. There is another option for payment plans that kind of goes for both payment plan and also pay in full. And that's utilizing something like ThriveCart, which allows us to give the client the opportunity to finance through a third party, like Affirm or Klarna or something like that. This can make it more accessible to them because they're going to have a lower payment and they could have it stretched out to a year or 18 months, but you still get your payment upfront in full. So there's pros and cons there as well. Pro for you is that you're getting paid in full upfront and they also get a payment plan. The con there would really mostly just be for the client because they're going to be paying interest on that loan amount, right? Benefit for you also is if they stop paying, you already got your money for rendering the service, right? So that now they have a credit bureau that is holding them accountable for paying. Okay, so there's an option there for you as well. So you can have these like 6 monthly payments, or they can choose to finance the full amount with the third party. And that's between them and that third party. You're just making that available to them as an option, right? Again, it makes it more accessible to that individual. All right, so let's kind of look at this. So we're looking at this amount, right? It's $5K for this 6-month offer. It's 15 people that jumped inside and they're each doing the payment plan. So they're each doing $833 a month. I'm breaking this down as simple as possible. We're not going to have this happen where it's like everybody does the payment plan or everybody pays in full. But I want to break this down in a way where it's like, okay, I see the difference in how this can play out. All right. So total sum that these 15 people paying $5K for, the total income sum would be $75,000, right? Now, let's look at pros and cons for payment plans. It's not really pros and cons. It's how I listed it out, but I'm just going to break this down for you. Okay, that's how my brain works. Enjoy the tour. All right. So looking at this, we've got $833 times 15, right? Each person is paying this. There's 15 people. This is our monthly income. Now, we have to remember that's not all our money. We have to put aside money for taxes. All right. Most of the time, we want to err on the side of caution, and it's about 40% of your income needs to be set aside for taxes. If you look at what I have here, where you pay yourself $8K a month out of this amount, you're probably going to look at it and say, that's not quite mathing at 60-40. I'm going to show you how this works. Okay. First and foremost, I do want to clarify, I am not an accountant. I am not a financial advisor. I am not anything like that. I am a coach. Okay. So all I'm doing with this is presenting an opportunity to see options and how you can run your business. So we're just going to look at stuff on paper and how it plays out. At no point am I providing financial advice. I want to be clear on that. I don't want somebody coming back and be like, hey, like, nope, we're just breaking it down and looking at it so that we can make educated and informed decisions in our business. Okay. Now, I do want to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. If you already have a coach or mentor, they've probably already gone over all of this with you because as we know, our businesses are not just about making money. They're about creating freedom. They're about creating financial prosperity. They're about having the opportunity to do really whatever we want. Again, freedom. So we have to consider this aspect in our businesses. So, of course, a good coach is going to be talking about this stuff. So, forgive me if it's review for those of you that have mentors that have already taught you this. You might not need to watch this, but for everyone else, it's pretty important information, especially something that I've seen happen in this industry and even with clients when they start making good money, they just burn through it, right? They burn through it. They don't know what to do with the money. And this is why I have this holistic approach in my coaching with mindset and the structure and framework and all of it. I mean, we talk about all of it, and you'll see that in my videos because it's all part of it. There's not standalone pieces in our businesses. This is all an important part of our business. And I want for my clients and for you as the viewer to be able to experience financial freedom. And so I don't want what happened with one of my clients who came in who was making really good money, like really good money, but she was broke. She wasn't keeping it. And so what we had to work on less than the strategy because her business was good. We had to work on the mindset and create a strategy and a plan for how she can regulate her nervous system and feel safe and confident to actually hold on to her money and let it work for her. So if this is something that you've struggled with and you're looking at this going, yeah, I mean, I've had good months, but then that money has just busted. Like it's like it just disappeared. I don't know where it went. This is going to be important. And also working on the programming, the conditioning, and the mindset around your belief with money. Because we can have a breakthrough, right? People can come in, they come into my container and they've been struggling, and then it clicks, they get it, they start making money, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with this. I don't feel worthy of this amount of money. Okay. So it's like the whole thing with manifesting, right? If we get ourselves to a position where we can manifest our dream relationship or lump sum of money, but in the background in our conditioning and programming, we actually don't believe that we're worthy of that, we're going to self-sabotage and end up right back where we were, right? We're going to do something in that relationship feeling unworthy and act too insecure and blow it in some way. Or when we get that money, we're going to blow it just the same, right? So this is why all of this is connected and all of it works together, okay? And forgive me if you hear any background noise. They're doing some construction in the office next door. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's get back to the numbers. We're making this amount every month from this group, these 15 people paying this. And I'm telling you, you need to pay yourself about 8K of that. Okay. That is a livable wage. That is something that we can manage to live within. Most people can live within about 4K if they are responsible, but most people aren't. Okay. And if most people are on top of their money and allowing the rest of it to work for them, but we're going to say 8K. This is a really healthy amount, especially as a single mom like myself, or like a mom who's wanting to contribute to her household, or even just a single woman, right, that wants to be able to live a good life. This is a solid amount. This is good, especially if we do what I'm going to walk through in the way that we can make it work for us. Again, not giving advice, just giving ideas and opening up possibilities. Okay? Hey, Nancy here. I'm sorry to interrupt this video, but if you've made it this far through it, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. All you have to do is click down below, subscribe, and then make sure to click the little alarm bell so that you get notified every time I release amazing, helpful content like this video. Okay? So what I would do, I'll say this, what I would do is knowing that I need money for taxes, but I also need this amount to live on. And this is what's coming in. I would place every month the difference, right, between the 12,495 and the 8K. I would each month place that into a high yield savings account. Right now, you can get a rate of about 4.5 right now at the time of this recording. Who knows what it'll be with the politics and all of that stuff. We'll see. But right now, it's 4.5. All right. So what we're going to look at is how doing this is going to allow our money to work for us. So the first month, what we're going to do is we're going to put that amount in there, right? And then 4.5%, this is the amount of interest that's going to earn. Okay. So then what's going to happen in the second month? I wanted to do it this way. So it's like, we're not getting ahead. Month 2, now I've got this amount in total in my account because I had this much plus my interest that I gained plus me placing my next 4495 from second month, right? So now this is my total. And then this is the amount of interest that money is going to earn me. So let's see what would happen hypothetically, right? In month 3. So now I have this much. It earned me this much interest. So it's this plus this amount from that income. That's going to create this much in my savings account, which would then accrue that amount of interest at 4.5. Again, this is just an example in a perfect world where all numbers just calculate and make sense. Okay. Month 4, same thing. This amount plus this plus our difference in income. Now we're here. And this is the amount of interest that amount would accrue for that month. So on and so forth. Okay. I am not a mathematician. If you find an error in my math, feel free to comment it. Again, this is an example to show you what options there are and how to make our money work for us. All hypothetical. All right. So this is how this breaks down. So then after 6 months, if we've been doing this, as we get these payments coming through, everyone's been paying, we've been paying ourselves this much to live on every month. And we've been letting the money accrue and adding money to it every month. After 6 months, that's going to be our balance in our savings account. Okay. That's fun. So if we look at this, we've made money on our money, right? So what I did is I'm considering this like the amount of money, when I say total income, the amount of money our money made us. Okay. If we look at it, it's this amount plus this times 6. I think that was like 48,000, I think it was. Yeah. So it was 48,000 plus this amount. This is how much money that made us. Our taxable income was the amount we got paid. This is about how much we're going to owe if we look at it exactly like 40%. Okay. Again, all hypothetical. We're just looking at numbers. Okay. Looky here. I have enough money to pay my taxes on this income, even though I wasn't putting 40% away. Okay. Because I allowed for my money to work for me by putting it in a high yield savings account. Okay. So again, just an example, just to get some wheels turning, ideas on how to process this. This is a payment plan. This is how we can look at this from making this sale. And what you'll hear, I really want to be clear on this because it bothers me. I feel like it's not ethical how people are like, oh my gosh, in one weekend I made $75,000. They didn't. They closed 15 clients in a weekend. And after 6 months, they will make, okay? They didn't make that much money in that weekend. So we're hearing these kinds of stories, right? And we're feeling like failures. We're like, what am I doing wrong? I'm not making nearly that. And then it feels so far beyond our grasp that we go into this like repeating cycles of it's not possible, I can't do it. And so it keeps us from showing up and then right? So this is how this works, right? This is how this works. They didn't make that much in a weekend. Now we'll go over to pay in full. Maybe they did. So we're going to break it down this way. Maybe everybody takes advantage. They either do pay in full because you've got an extra bonus pay in full and you get 12 coaching sessions with me, or 4 coaching sessions, or if you pay in full you get this bonus program, or right, so there's some kind of benefit. And so they're like, well, I'm going to pay in full because I'm going to save 15% and get this extra program. So like, why the heck not? I'll finance it and I'll pay it off early, and awesome. Okay, so we made it so irresistible that they're going to pay in full. All right, so now we're looking at the 15 people times 5,000, and that's 75K, right? So again, this is for a 6-month container. So this is 6 months worth of income, $75,000. What we're going to do is we're going to put all of that into the high yield savings account, right? It's not our money. Put it over there. Okay. And then we're doing the same kind of math here. Hey, it's me again. One more thing. If you are seeking clarity and trying to find your purpose and fulfillment in this life, whether it be in starting your own business, learning how to monetize your YouTube channel, learning how to have a successful coaching business, or just in general, to find those satisfying relationships that you deeply desire, I want to invite you to snag my Define Your Purpose worksheet. This worksheet is going to help you get really, really clear on your purpose and give you that clarity that you've been seeking so that you can take those next steps towards fulfilling your potential and feeling that fulfillment that you've been seeking. It's also going to include some bonuses. You're going to get my psychic gifts activation. You're going to get a somatic practice and some other amazing resources. So make sure, click the link in the description and download your free worksheet today. Month 1, we've taken our $8,000 out. Okay, so we've taken the payment out. And this amount of money with a 4.5 interest rate has earned us that much. Okay? So we're just moving backwards here. Month 2, here's where it got a little tricky when I was mathing it. We have to keep in mind, I am taking this amount plus this amount, right? Because we earned that interest minus the 8,000 that we're paying ourselves. And this is our new total. Okay. This new total is then going to earn us this much in interest. So then here's what we're going to do next. Month 3, right? We're adding this, and then that total minus what we're paying ourselves. And now we're here. And this amount will then earn this much in interest. Same thing. And again, if I messed up my math, I'm human. Math has never been my strong suit. Okay. I was also going back and forth on my phone when I was on the treadmill from my calculator app to my notes app. So forgive me. Again, adding this and this, subtracting this from that total, and now we have a new total, and so on and so forth. Okay. So we'll see how that breaks down over the 6 months. So once we've paid ourselves this money every month, and you could do this as a lump sum. If this were me, I'll say that. If this were me, I would pay myself $2,000 a week so that I'm leaving even more money in that high yield savings account at a time that can accrue. Okay. It's also going to keep me more accountable to know this week I have $2,000. So that's what I got. All right. Maybe I want to pay myself $4,000 upfront because I know my mortgage is coming out, car payment, etc., and then space out the rest of it for the last 3 weeks. Right? Let's look at our bills. Let's see how it pays out and do it in a way that makes sense. Okay. So after 6 months, when we have gone through all this, this is the amount that we have in this account. Okay. Again, in a perfect world, just as an example. Now we're looking at this amount plus the 48,000 because that's including this that we've paid ourselves every month. And this is saying, as an example, that we've made on this money, on these people, we've actually made this in 6 months. Our taxable income would be that. And then we have money for. So, looking at the breakdown of this, let's kind of look at how this plays out. When we have the lump sum, yes, we're able to then get it to make us money upfront, right? But when we're really seeing this breakdown, there's not a huge difference. It's like $3,000 ish. Okay. It's not this like, oh my gosh, it makes this gigantic difference. So we have to have everybody paid in full. Okay. The thing with this is we have to weigh our options. Okay. So having payment plans, I feel like, is a really great way to make things accessible and to allow ourselves that like month to month income coming in. And then maybe we have pay in full. This is where it can get a little confusing because maybe we have both, right? Maybe we've got both. We've got half the people paying and paid up front in full. And then the other half are doing this. So it's like, well, Nancy, then what? Like, how do I pay myself? It's the same concept. All of the income would go into this same account and you pay yourself your set amount because you calculated it out. What is my total income? We know the total income because I've got 15 people, all that are in total going to pay me $5,000. I know that this is my total income right here. Breaking that down between 6 months, that's this amount per month. I need to live on this. So I will make sure that all of the income goes into this one account. And then I'm using an example. This is how I would do it. I'm not telling you to do it. I would pay myself the $2,000 a week from that account. Okay. So there's some mathing that we have to do. But I wanted to break this down for you because I've gotten this question a lot. Okay. When we're pricing offers, should I like push for pay in full or should I do payment plans? So we've looked at like benefits of both. We've looked at how the numbers really kind of work out. Because again, that's really all I was doing was we're just kind of looking at bare bones. What difference would it make? Right. And the difference is, so it's minimal. It really is. It's minimal. It's the way that we use the money that makes a difference and what's important and how we're managing it and how we're allowing it to work for us. Okay. So that's that is how we kind of break that down and the benefits of payment plans and pay in full. If you have questions, please comment them below. I will do my best to navigate through it. Again, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a financial expert, accountant, or anything like that. All I did in this video was break it down in a way to help us just look at it piece by piece of saying, okay, if I have someone pay in full, and if I have some people do payment options, like which is better? Okay, that was the only reason that we're doing this, just so we could look at it, break it down, and let's look at it. Which would be better? And it looks like if we're managing the income properly, obviously we saw the pay in full looks like it would make us a little bit more in profit if we're letting that money work for us. But at the end of the day, it's not a huge difference. Okay. So hope this helped. Very, very much hope this was helpful. Again, if you have questions, let me know. Yeah, and that's all I got for you. I'll see you on the next video.